Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Hey, hello, Dolphin. Hello, Joanne. Okay, let's paint a new portrait today. You know the image is in the description box. Okay. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Mark. Hi, everybody. Just 1 second, moving things here on my screen to see, the comments. To see OBS. That's the prompt that I use to live stream and to see the photographs here. Okay. Here are my usual brushes that I'm gonna use. Okay. I got like maybe more than 10 brushes. Synthetic brushes. I'm gonna start sketching with willow charcoal here. And the colors I'm gonna use today are titanium white, cadmium yellow light, cadmium red, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, raw umber, and ivory black. Okay, let's see. When I show you here, I just see on the up photograph. I have two photographs on my screen. I got this one and I got this one. You can see that that one shows the values. It shows how we see from light to shadow. Okay. I got that image just in Patreon. I mean, it's not that you gotta join Patreon to see it. You gotta just go to Patreon and you're gonna see it's free there. You're gonna see this video there, and in the description, it says image attached, and that's the two images. Okay. Okay, let's start sketching. First, I'm gonna just go with something pretty simple and fast, just to see the size of the head. Okay, something like that. That way I can just see if I need to move it a little bit more to the left, right, make it maybe a bit bigger or a bit smaller. I would love to see a bit more of them, of her shoulder. Okay. Now, I'm gonna just be more careful with the overall shape now. Okay, the center line of the face, this line is pretty important. On a tricky review, it's always a curvy line. I always use the eyes to start the drawing of the face, and I always measure visually from the top of the head to the bottom of the head, and the eyes are halfway. Once I place the eyes, I place one more line for the eyebrows. Once I got this one, and I establish where it's going to be the chin, maybe a little bit up, a little bit down. Okay? Let's say here. Now, again, I measure from here to here, and I place the nose around here. At the same time that I do this, I got the photograph to my left. It's the same size as my canvas. That means that I can just check out, like I was working using this side size method. What I mean is, if I do this, this brush, I could just get to the photograph on my left, to my painting here, and I can check out the alignment with the nose, the chin, the eyebrows, the eyes. Okay, I'm doing that by eye, because when I get pretty close, it's easier. But if I have a doubt, or I want to just check out a bit more the measurements, be a bit more accurate, I could do this. Okay. Hello, Nick. Nigard Kalan. Hello, Sylvia. Okay. Let's see now the eyes. One thing that why is this is important. First, when we have the center line in this line, we know that the nose is going to be here. Now we split this in two, and the mouth is going to be here. From the center line, the mouth is going to be wider to the right and narrower to the left. Obviously, because it's turning. Yeah? This side of the face is has a cylindrical form. Now, for the nose, it's just pretty simple. It's a tilted line in the brow too. And we can draw the bridge of the nose as another line like this. Now we're gonna have mistakes, definitely, that's part of the process. We draw and then we make adjustments. Okay. Yeah. Okay. One thing that I do always check out alignments, vertical alignments. What you could do is this: just your brush, put it on top of the photograph. I see, for example, that there is an alignment between the corner of the mouth and the tear duct. Okay. I got that. Yeah, kind of close. And the nose is kind of close to this vertical axis. Okay. Now, one thing I know that the mouth, the beginning I draw it just like one line for the center of the mouth, but we know that this form here is just like a cylinder. Okay. That means that what is in top is gonna just get the form of the cylinder. It means that the mouth, you can see the the right of the mouth like here, but this side of the mouth is going to be a little bit curvy, getting, you know, continue the form of the mouth. Okay. Want to wipe off a little bit. Okay. I'm going to draw a bit more, but with oil now. I use linseed oil. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay. I'm going to use burnt sienna. Okay. I'm going to try to be a bit more precise on the drawing. Okay. When I'm drawing this area, I'm thinking about this shape as a simple, just geometrical shape. This simplified, okay? Just simplifying. Now this, it becomes another simple shape. Now the angle of the nose, angle. Everything just is about angles. It's easier. How tilted is this? Okay. How tilted is here? How tilted is here? Okay. Let's see. Okay, I got, you know, a sketch. I think maybe it's a bit wider, the face. I mean, on my drawing, I need to narrow the face a bit. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. Okay. Now remember that I got two images. I'm gonna show again this one here. Okay, look at that one. That one is gonna give me a really good idea about mixing colors. It's kind of simple. The color is, it's kind of a mute orangey color. But one thing that's pretty important, that you see that the face here is lighter, and then how we move to a darker value. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Flubber. Okay. The simple way to mix a skin color, when you see that it looks like this, like today, it doesn't look like too pinkish, too orangey, too saturated. It looks like a really mute, orangey color. You can use burnt sienna and white. Okay, if you got the feeling that this color is not the color you want, you can add a touch of yellow, a touch of red. But more important than making this yellowish or reddish is that this is going to represent the light on the face. Okay. Wow. One thing that I cannot avoid thinking is about planes. It's something that I just gotta think about. That I think it's just something that I got used to by practicing that. And every time that I see a face, I see kind of imaginary lines. Let's imagine this. I see the light. You see the light so clearly, and I see this, and I see this, and I see this. You can even trace them if you want. I know this one, for example, is closer to the zygomatic bone here. I see the nose, and I see this. Okay. That's kind of simpler. And since we start simple, and we know this, we can just say that this plane is lighter, yeah, and this plane is dark. Imagine just a cube. That's the simple primary form that we use to understand planes. Okay. Now, a second value. That's going to be darker than the other one. That's the good thing about this. That's what we do when we do paint along lessons in Patreon. Okay. Okay, what I want of this color. I'm not worried that this color maybe has to be more reddish, yellowish. No, that's not what I got in mind. Just I want this color to be darker than this one. That's what I care right now. Okay. Now, as I know that this form is turning from the light is coming from left. I know this value is going to be here. And the next one, that's going to be a darker value. Next to that one, a darker one. It's just a value scale. Kind of simple on this image. I mean, at least for the beginning. Okay. Now we can see that I see on the photograph, some really greenish colors around here, some pinky color on the cheek. I could even start adding those colors right now. Okay, like this, just add a touch of red and white to keep the same color, and you can just add a little bit of red here and red here. Make it a little bit pinky. You know, I always mention the reddish colors on the skin. That's because we have more blood there. We can see the reddish colors so clearly. That's the eyelids, you know, the nose, the cheeks, and the chin. Hello, Carius. Hello, Sajan. Hello, Cosimo. Hello, Rafaelo. Hello, Marius. Okay, let's clean the one brush. Okay. Now we can move on to the next value. This, I need to clean this brush a bit more. I'm not gonna use this one. Okay. What we do, you know, just a darker color. Obviously, this one is darker. We need a little bit of blue to cool down the color. It's gonna grade down the color, and it's gonna make it cooler compared to the previous one. But one thing, you gotta be sure that this color is darker than the other one, okay? Look at that, yeah. Hello, Paint with Swapnir. Hi, Swapnir. The ears a bit reddish. I can add red here too. It's too reddish, I think, but that's good for now. Now is everything is simple. I'm not thinking about volume that in a way that trying to understand what is beneath the skin, you know, the bumps and all of that. I'm just trying to establish something pretty simple about light, midtones, and shadows. Obviously, there are way more values, but we can simplify it even to 3 values, and we should see a bit of the volume of the face. Okay. Now, always remember that we're dealing with a form that is 3-dimensional and is made of rounded forms everywhere. Okay. What I mean is this. Okay, I'm making this a bit dark. The eye is rounded. If the light is coming from left, the eye is going to be darker here because it's a rounded form. I did that last week, and I love it because for me it's just like studying the volume. It's pretty useful. And here's the same. In that way, we always remember that we're dealing with spherical forms. Okay. Light is here. Okay. Now, what else? Here, there's going to be always a midtone. And what is here? Another rounded form on this area, where we see exactly what? The eyebrow. The eyebrow goes on top of this light. That's rounded. Okay. Why? That's the upper part of the eye socket. Now here, the same rounded upper part of the eye socket. Okay. Now here, this shadow there, that midtone there, is going to be because below this area, that's, you know, the bottom of the cheekbone. We can press here a little bit on your own faces and feel it, the bone. Now, what we have here, a rounded form, and a rounded form, it has the same values, yeah? Light, midtones, and shadows. Look at that light, yeah? Midtone and shadow. And we're gonna see maybe a reflected light. Now the same happens with the chain, a rounded form. Okay. Now when you practice primary forms, as soon as you know what's the primary form of what you're painting and you know where's the light coming from, you're gonna know the values that you're gonna need to add to create a rounded form. That's gonna become pretty simple. That's why I would recommend always from time to time to practice painting a sphere, a box, and a cylinder, or just drawing those primary forms. That's gonna be pretty useful for you all. You know, I promise you that you're gonna improve a lot just by practicing that. The idea is the relationship, okay? When you practice with those forms, and let's say you master those forms, and somebody tells you the eye is a sphere, you already know what values you need to create a sphere. Okay. Hello, Enrique. Okay. Now, this is kind of what we think when we are just painting. Sometimes it's not that clear because we don't see this, you know, it's just like seeing inside somebody's head. You know, this thing about primary forms and all of that. Okay. Now, with that, it comes something more, a little bit of anatomy. Now, I'm not saying that this is to add more details. Okay, look at the painting right now. I'm not thinking about details. The knowledge that you have about primary forms, about light, midtones, and shadows, anatomy, all of that is not for adding details. It's to understand what you paint. For example, here there's going to be always subtle midtone. Why? Because there's a muscle here. There are muscles here. Okay. There is all this rounded form because of the auricularis oris, a muscle that goes like this. That muscles are not the only responsible for the forms. First is the scar, bones. And then on top of that, the muscles complete, you know, the form. Okay. Now at the beginning, you can spend a lot of time painting without knowledge about anatomy. You can, you know, get away with nice portrait without knowing anything about anatomy. At some point, when you, you know, hit a plateau, that's the word. When you feel stuck, anatomy is gonna just help you to, you know, continue growing, continue improving on your painting. I would say that anatomy is not like something that's gonna be helpful if somebody is a complete beginner. Yeah, but that's my opinion. Okay, that's my opinion. I'm basing my opinion on my own experience. Okay, it's just like we need to first try your eyes. Need to train your eyes. Need to train your observation. You need to learn to see first. Once you learn to see, then you start applying the things, more knowledge about anatomy, all of that. The knowledge about the primary forms, that's something that you can just, you know, do it from day one, because that's primary forms. Primary forms are pretty important. Okay, I need another brush, a bigger brush. Enrique is saying that's following me from Mexico. Hi, this color here. Hi from Peru. This color here is a raw umber. I can use it just pure and paint with a little bit of linseed oil and paint the hair just like it's flat. But on top of this, I'm gonna add lights, okay? Or I can just wipe off and add more colors and values. But right now, at the beginning, it would be pretty good if just one value. Okay. Now that I got this, I would think about the background. Now I see light on this side of the face. The photograph has a lighter background. Okay, here's when you need to choose what to do. You want more contrast, less contrast. You want to copy exactly the photograph. Okay, I want a bit more contrast. I'm gonna add blue and a little bit of white. I think this is gonna be a just nice, simpler color for this stage. But you can see I'm not using too much paint. That's the beginning, okay? I wanna use the amount of paint that I wanna be able to control, to move, to mold, and even to wipe off. It's better, I would say that's better thinking that you can just fix something by adding more paint. That one brush stroke is gonna fix another brush stroke just by putting more paint on top. That's the best way to think about it. But I see sometimes, some students just like they end up with a lot of paint and they want to change the color and they're adding more and more paint and it's just like nothing happens. Yeah? And I would say that for that moment, wipe off and then just paint with the color you want. No big deal. It's not like each painting has to be a challenge. We gotta just find the best way to do what works for each one of us, especially when we are just starting to paint and we are afraid of making mistakes. And not just for that, even for anyone. That's why I have these tools here. I bought, remember this one? Look at this one, how this one erase. Oh, amazing, man. Look at that. I don't use it that much. I believe myself more about adding more paint. But you can see that if a tool is gonna just give you some peace, mental peace about, oh, I'm gonna be able to erase something, that's better, yeah? Than thinking that you're gonna just put more paint, more paint, more paint. Each one gotta find its own way to deal with the process. We gotta respect the process, but there are a few things that we can just change to adapt it to ourselves. Okay? Let's see. Okay. I'm just seeing the painting. I wish I would have painted the face a bit bigger. Just thinking about the colors, thinking about contrast. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, Mark is saying, I bought a silicone scraping brush. That's what I have. My art tools were incomplete. Oh, that helps. Yeah. Anything that helps. Yeah, that's my opinion. Okay. But that's my opinion, In my time when I remember maybe most of the teachers telling me like, continue adding more paint. We want more paint on the canvas. We want that. And maybe one teacher that told me maybe starting too much, told me once, pick up a palette knife and scrape it and paint over again. Yep, that means we have different opinions. Yeah, I have here pure black, and I want to just paint this black. I think that's gonna be pretty good to see the contrast with the other values. Okay, I like it. It's pretty dark. Now I can see, for example, the other values. And now I'm thinking, for example, like darker values. I want to mix this black with this color because I don't want a really dark color. Okay, thinking like, you know, eyes darker, hair here darker, and here darker. Okay, that's a spot. That's a spot. So I'm thinking about that. Now I gotta choose. You know, sometimes it could be better, like for a composition. Like, for example, what if I choose not to make this completely dark, just to make it, you know, recede, let's say. Okay. Now, I'm just on the eyes. I want to just stay here on the eyes a bit because I want to paint the eyes. We have an eyeball. Okay, it's there, set inside the eye socket. Eyebrow is on top. Since this is another rounded area, now we understand why the brow is darker here, and it could be lighter here, and then it could be darker here again. Okay, it kind of follows the volume of that rounded area. Now here on top, we got the eyelid there, and the lower eyelid there. And now the same here, eyelid, eyelid, and the iris, and the iris. Okay. Okay, now next darker value that I see, I'm gonna mix here raw umber and red. The nose, okay, but it's not as dark as the eyes, okay. Now the next darker value that I see are the corner of the mouth here and the corner of the mouth here. Now, but something that I know, this corner of the mouth is closer to me. This one is turning to the side, okay? That means that I need to make this a little bit lighter. Okay, what I'm doing right now is thinking about what I see and thinking about how close or too far away it is from my point of view, and using that to represent, okay, the mouth. I'm not trying to copy exactly what I see. Now, how I'm gonna create the effects that the nose is coming forward. Now here, I see a reflected light, but here I could add a sharp edge. Okay. We have this form shadow there for the nose. Okay, there. Now I can think about color, how I could just mix a little bit of blue here. That's gonna cool down this color. And I could paint it here. Now it's a subtle variation, but I know that I'm just making this subtle shift on color. Okay, now I'm gonna just pick up a warmer color, orange, with white, and I paint the light here. Okay, more white. Now everything is subtle here when we're working on the face. I don't expect to see a really bright contrast. Let me just zoom in. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. You notice the difference? Warmer and cooler, okay? Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. And what color theory says that a cool color recedes, a warmer color move forward. Now, it's pretty subtle, but I'm thinking about that. Sometimes uh, I just, let's say, do it without thinking, just like on that. And I think that happens with practice. Yeah? But it's better if you know what you're doing, if you follow every step, okay? And you think for moments about volume and why. That's why you need a bit of an army to understand the form, okay? When it's about anatomy, for example, I think about this. Here I need light, yeah? Here I need light. That's gonna complete the rounded form. The eye is rounded. Here I'm gonna light a little bit pinky because the eyelids are pinky. Light there, okay? Now the same for this eye. Now, knowing that, that would be the same reason why I could make this side a bit darker. Yeah. Now we gotta adjust obviously here and there because there's not like there's gonna be like complete light and shadow. Is when we don't have that much contrast, the face is made of just subtle midtones. Okay, one thing that we don't see because we see a face that's pretty fresh and young, but there is this midtone that goes like this. Okay, why is that? That's because of the eye socket. Okay, we don't see that clearly on this face, but it's gotta be there. It's always there. Yeah, that's when I say, you know, we paint what we see, we paint what we know. Sometimes what we know is more important because sometimes it's kind of difficult to see some things or to see them clearly on a photograph, or you know, or maybe when we're painting for a live model. Okay, now I need to add more paint. Add warmer color with burnt sienna. Okay, light is here. Okay. You can even add some texture. Okay, I'm not gonna add the same amount of paint that I added to this cheek to this one. Why? Because this is just turning, okay? I'm gonna make a judgment to these lights because I cannot have all of them just glowing. Okay, I'm gonna move to the second value. A little bit of red. Okay, now I can knock down the color here. Knock down the color here. Okay. Okay, now we continue thinking about, for example, if I paint this flat, this is a good example, flat. How I create the illusion that the forehead is turning? Okay, one way that would be, hey, the background. Why? If I paint the background darker here, one thing is gonna happen that here the edge is gonna look a little bit lighter. Okay, That's contrast. It's gonna look a little bit lighter. It's just like when we see a value scale. Okay, look at this value scale. Any lighter value, okay, this lighter value looks lighter when it's closer to the other one on the edge, just on the edge. Okay, now if I know that, okay, I can just use a mid-tone and I put it here. Just not that much, just a little bit. Okay, that's gonna work as a form shadow or a core shadow. That's gonna insinuate that the forehead is turning. Okay, thus now what we're using to understand that contrast. Okay, remember contrast, darker color could make any lighter color look lighter. Yeah? Okay, and that's what that's happening there. Now we move to a lighter value here, a mid-tone, yeah. And now we need to see a lighter value here because of the bump on that area. Now mid-tone here, the temple area. Okay, there's a depression here, and then we have this mid-tone here. Okay, and now again light on the cheekbone gets to that area just there. Go a little bit like that. Now as the color is moving to the right, we can cool down the color. Okay, I see a little bit of a cool color there. Now remember that a lot of the colors that we see are reflected light, reflected colors. Okay, the ambient light. Okay, to understand the ambient light, for example, imagine that you have a sphere. Okay, and imagine you put it below the sunlight. Okay, that would be direct light. Yeah, but now imagine that sphere, you put it on the shadow. There's no direct light, it's just light from the sky. That's what we call ambient light. Okay. Now, obviously, there is a color for that. Reflected light is like maybe there is a blue wall behind here, and that's bouncing blue on the face. Okay. Okay, let me see some comments I didn't check out. Oh, Rafael saying, I'm learning everything here from Zambia. I like the way you explain things. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. I'm gonna blend a bit just here. Okay. I hope you understand that painting a portrait is not just about seeing the surface. That's what I'm trying to explain, that I see the surface, but I think about what is beneath the surface, and I think about primary forms. All of that is what I keep in mind when I'm molding the face. Yeah, because I see the photograph. Yeah, photograph is beautiful, but no way for me to be able to copy all the details from the photograph. No way. No? And sometimes when we try to copy all the details, we got into some common mistakes. For example, something that I have seen so many times. Look at the mouth. What if I paint the mouth like this? What I'm gonna do is something that I have seen so many times. Okay, I see the lips and we do this. Paint the mouth like this. Paint the mouth like this. Like complete sharp edges. And then the eyes, we outline the eyes like top and bottom. Okay, and then we add eyelashes. And then more and more, and what happens at the end? The painting starts to look a bit cartoonish. Okay, it's just the freshness on the face. We start to diminish that. Okay, when we pay attention to the mouth, we notice that the upper lip is pretty soft. The transition here is pretty soft. Here, there is always kind of a bridge on this area between that and this portion here. We know anatomy, and we're always going to expect to see a shadow below the mouth. There's a depression. And the bump here, there's going to have this shape. And then this here. Those are the muscles. Okay? This one muscle that I love, the pressor anguli oris. The risorius muscle that goes like this. All of those muscles are responsible for what we see on top. Okay? And then the thing is that we cannot fully understand a portrait painter when we don't know what a portrait painter is thinking. Because something definitely that happens when I paint a portrait, okay, I'm not just thinking about the photograph. The photograph, it gives me some information, but I gotta choose details from the photograph because I know that I'm not gonna be able to paint every single thing. No way. No way, no way. There's no way that for me and for anyone to paint every single detail from a photograph. Especially when you paint Alla Prima. Okay? I'm trying to paint right now the core shadow there. That even that I didn't see it so clearly, but I know it's there. That's another example that sometimes we paint what we know, not just what we see. Okay. The good thing that all these things, yeah, you gotta learn it by step. Yeah? It's just let's say a little bit longer process, but when you learn it just one by one, at some point everything just start to working together. But it's better for a beginning to separate the things. What I mean is that you think about values and work just on values, light and shadows. Don't think that the lights are warm, the shadows are cool, or vice versa. Don't think about that. Just think about light and shadows, values. Okay, when you study color, hey, think how the light is affecting the color and how a warm or a cool color is going to affect the volume of the face. And this illusion that you're trying to create, this illusion of realism. Okay? That would be a different step. You gotta separate them in order to practice each one. And then planes of the face. When you practice planes of the face, that help you to understand light. Okay? First step, remember, go pick up a cube and paint a cube. Okay. And show me the cube next week. No. Okay. That's gonna just give you enough knowledge to understand light. Not just if you do just once, it's not gonna be enough. Eh? You need to paint a cube more than once to understand how the lights move on a primary form. Everybody wants to practice with primary colors, get the colors right. And what about the primary forms? Okay. How are you going to move to a complex forms if you don't understand the primary forms? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to just soften here, you know. Need to see all of this soft. A bit of red here. I can use this brush that I'm using for blending and dabbing, just to lay down a little bit of paint. And you see a little bit of red there. Oh, Felix saying the eyes are a tad too low, the nose a tad too short. There's too much cheekbone on the left side. Okay, thank you. I want to check out that. Hello, Fanchon. Oh, yeah. Nice to see you. I mean, I not see you, but nice to say nice to see you. Thank you. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, here I'm not gonna paint completely the eye. Let's see what Felix is telling me, that maybe the eyes are too low. I wanna check out there. Sometimes it could be that the face is too wide. Let's see. Okay. Okay, making this using a Lyserine Crimson here because I want to make the color darker. But when you use a color like a Lyserine Crimson, the color becomes darker and saturated. Okay. Now, especially on this area, a saturated color is going to add some translucency for the skin color. I'm not saying that's going to work for every area here because the eyelids are transparent, you know, this skin on top of the white sphere. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna need to soften the eyebrows. As we start the process of molding the face, there's gonna be a lot of back and forth. We need to get used to that. Sometimes we think that the painting is not good, that, you know, it's kind of, nothing is working, it's kind of wonky, you say, yeah? But it's just a process. Trust the process. And if during the process you see that something is not working, remember that the face is about everything, the eyes, nose, and mouth. It's not just about one eye that doesn't look good. When the worst thing that could happen is that we get caught up in one area and we spend a lot of time on that area, and to the point that we say, oh, I got it, now it's perfect. Now when I see in comparison or relationship to the other eye, let's say if we've been working on just one eye, when we see in relationship to the other eye or the mouth, we notice that something is off. That's why, for example, I keep moving around. You see me, like I don't stay on one area. Here, for example, I'm painting this area, I'm thinking about the cool color that I added before. I want to see a little bit of that. Okay, another thing that I see on the face, and maybe I see it because I've been drawing the cartilage on the nose, and I see this. It looks pretty clear, you know. Look at this, like that. Okay. That, I don't know if you can see that. That's the cartilage of the nose. Okay. And it goes up here, and then it's the nasal bone. Okay, and when you see the cartilage, it has a separation, the center here, like the same here. This is between a muscle, two muscles, two muscles, one here, one here. Mentalis, that's the name of the muscles around there. Okay. Okay, a little bit of green here. This area closer to the nasal bone, it's a little bit greenish. It's touching the bone. And this area here, again, closer to the cheekbone. This nasal bone, cheekbone here, it's a little bit greenish too. Greenish there, and reddish here. Okay. I'm gonna soften this. Okay, I need a sharp edge. Two spots. One is here, just where is the eye. My hand is shaking. I got too much coffee today. Okay, now next, sharp edge. Now here's when it's about decision making or making decisions. Okay, let's see. Okay, here, oops, I lost the image. Okay, sharp edge, just here. Okay, I think it's too dark. I'm gonna go over there, that area in a second. Here. Okay. I'm gonna soften there. Now, highlight. I'm gonna use pure white. I'm gonna add a little bit of color to this highlight, and here too. Okay. Now a little bit of orange here. reflected light, lower portion of the wing of the nose, top of the nostril. Okay, now here, sharp edge too. Okay. Now for the mouth, I'm gonna add a highlight first. Okay, the upper lip is a bit dark, a bit lighter. I want softness there. I don't want to see like a sharp edge. I want to see it even kind of blurry. Enough to represent the mouth, but without seeing all the details. A little bit of yellow there to add a little bit of light here. I see a reflected light there. Okay. Okay, let's continue with lights. Just pure white, okay, for now. Light here, and light here. Okay, I'm gonna use this color. That was a lighter skin color. I'm gonna add a little bit of this bluish color to get the combination, a grayish color. I'm gonna paint the white of the eye. Just there. Okay. Need to clean the brush, or I need another brush, a cleaner brush, smaller one. Hey, by the way, you know that I got an ebook on portrait tips. I got two ebooks, one in color harmony and the other one in portrait tips. The link is in the description. Okay. I created that. It's a kind of simple book, but I created that one thinking that you can print out and have it with you at your easel. Okay, and print out kind of small. And if it gets a lot of paint on the ebook, you print out a new one. And that was the idea. So tips like the tips that I do here, but for the people that love to read or keep something just closer that you can check out. It has like 120 pages and 60 paintings. I'm using my own paintings. You're gonna see some paintings from live streams. I'm using the same paintings. And some of the paintings are from my patron paint alone lessons. Now here's another sharp edge. Okay, here I'm gonna spend more time maybe because I wanna blend it, but I wanna just get it to the point that it's darker, but not dark enough. It's dark that you can see a difference with the other values on the whole face. Then I squint down my eyes and I see like 3 darker spots. You know, eyes, okay, nose, there, corner of the mouth, okay. Now it doesn't mean that I'm gonna just paint every single value exactly like I see on the photograph. I gotta see my painting. If maybe on my painting it's gonna work better if I just soften the values on the nose, make them lighter. Yeah, I would do it. And if on my painting, just keeping this eye kind of soft and blurry, it's gonna be better. Yeah, definitely I would keep it. I remember we don't need details. When I'm doing this, I'm choosing, okay, what I'm going to just add more interest, and I'm choosing what to leave out. Okay, because when you choose where to add a sharp edge, you're choosing at the same time what area is not going to have attention. You're doing both things at the same time. Okay. Oh, hello, Hedwig. Thank you. For example, one thing that I see here is a really dark edge on the mandible. I'm thinking right now, should I paint it that edge that sharp? Okay. And below is the neck. The neck looks lighter. There, it looks like a little triangle. Yeah. Now, what I'm gonna do is just make that softer there and blurry, the same way that this here, softer, blurry. Okay, now should I keep it like that? Don't know yet, don't know yet. Okay, a bit darker here to have more contrast. Beautiful, soft contrast. Happy contrast. A happy little contrast. I've been watching too much of Bob Ross. Happy little mistake. Happy little nose. Mm-hmm. Uh, Hello, little Alex. Sylvia saying, do you like Bob Ross? Oh, yes. He feels pretty relaxed. I like that. I say more than the paintings, maybe. It's about his personality. Edwin saying hi from Germany. Hi. Mm. I'm gonna blend a little bit the forehead. Let me see. I'm gonna just blend a little bit the eyebrow here too. I wanna make it softer. Sharp edge there, and then kind of soft there. Okay. Soft here too. And I think that's too sharp. This, all this a bit softer. Okay. Now here I need to mold it until I feel that this is rounded. I need to stay there a bit more. Okay. The light here, I need a bit more light. I'm using this brush for blending to lay down a little bit of color and mix it. Okay, about this eye on the left, I like it just like that, pretty soft. If it just drives me to see the other eye, that's good enough. If I really feel that it's incomplete, yeah, I could put a bit more work there, but right now, it feels good. It feels like just moving. It's receding. It's moving away. Okay. Thing that I need to do, I need more light here. Okay. A bit more reddish. A bit more yellowish. Okay, can you feel that here's a little bit kind of swollen? Okay. Not difficult to get that volume, but I'm trying to get that with some few brush strokes. Like this brush stroke here, what I'm trying to do is represent a depression there, okay? Look at this. A brush stroke represents a depression, then light here, that's gonna create rounded form, and light here, that's gonna create a smaller flat area there before it goes up to the nose. Okay, just like a map, just going on top of the map, ups and downs. Mm-hmm. Hello, Maria da Gloria. Oh, thank you. Okay. Hi, Deborah. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's continue. Here. The problem here at this stage where I am is that moving to the tears, you know, is so tentative. Just moving to add the tears. I want to just stay here where the painting it feels, you know, atmospheric. Some paintings are you could add more details to some paintings, but some paintings they just needs to be like, I don't know the word to describe that. like dreamy, soft. I think this is one of these paintings that. Yeah. And that's the problem, that I see the turtle. I want to paint the turtle. I want to paint here, you know, this here, but I'm just gonna lay down one brush stroke. Let's see if that works. Another brush stroke for the eyelashes. Okay, and here too. Okay. Now the nose has more light here. Now the nose is a bit rounded, a bit more rounded than I have it here. You know, that's the beauty of this journey. It's just like I'm moving on the surface of something, and it constantly moving, something that is not static. I love that. It looks like every brush stroke, it moved the face a bit more. Okay, now on the brow here on the corner, a bit dark. Oops, it's too dark. Okay, the sharp edge here, still here. I don't think so. About the nose, a little bit softer down here. Okay. The form shadow on the side of the nose, I needed form shadow there. A little bit of green. Green here. Okay, here too. You see the light here? Remember, this light is because of the muscles. Okay, can you see? No, maybe it's me that I want to see it, but can you see this here? I'm gonna make it darker, okay? That one. Do you see that mid-tone there? Okay. That's the famous or infamous depressor anguli oris. Okay. I'm gonna mix some green, a lot of white, and let's use it as a highlight on the nose, as a highlight on the chin, highlight nasal bone. Okay. Now there's gonna be a mid-tone always on the glabella. Here's the glabella, this area. Okay, I think I got the face too wide. Let's narrow the face a bit here. A bit dark here. Yeah, a bit darker here. Okay, as I'm painting this, I'm thinking about the bone here, okay, and the form shadow does around here, the masseter muscle, okay. Now next to that there's a reflected light. It could be, I'm gonna make it pretty warm. Okay, that's a reflected light here with the ear warm. Even with the hair it could be pretty warm there. I got this greenish color that I don't like, but well, but I was trying to explain that here we have this shadow that goes like this, okay? Foam shadow or core shadow, okay? It comes like this over here too, because it creates a roundness on the temple area and the upper part of the eye socket, okay? Okay, now a little bit of pink with alizarin crimson, which is gonna look a little bit cooler, but I like it. Just a bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of cameo red. Okay, trying to be careful not to move to the tears. Okay, a little bit of this green, just settle lightly on the air. I don't want to paint those foldings on the neck. I would love to keep the neck soft. Thank you, Sylvia. Darker brown here. I need a darker brown there. And pure black for this thing that I don't know the name, sorry. Do you like Karen DH new color too? Oh, I know the color, sorry. Hello, Ismail from Norway. Hi, from Peru. Okay. Let's see how it looks. Okay, let's think about some really sharp edges here, dark and sharp. Okay, the eye, I need to make it even darker there. Okay, the hair, I think I can make it sharp here. Okay, again. Okay, that. Now, one thing about the face, darker background. I think that's gonna be a better color for the face. Okay, I'm gonna just mix umber and ultramarine blue, and let's see here. That's gonna create a sharper edge, but let's see. I think I think that's what I need. Softer here. Okay, softer around the eye, sharper here. Okay. I think I like it. Now, again, raw umber. A bit of white. What I'm doing here, a sharp edge, kind of softer here, softer, lost. Now the ear, a bit reddish for the ear. I need to make the face a little bit wider. Did the face a bit narrower, and now I think a bit wider now. I want some ice cream. I was thinking that to go out and get some ice cream. I think the color of the ear triggers, this ice cream need. I'm gonna move the eyebrow a little bit up. Okay, the mouth. Okay, I wanna add a sharp edge here. Just a bit, just a bit. No, a bit, a bit. Let's see how it works with pure red. There. Okay, I need to add red here too. Pure red. What about that? Oh, Joanne, Happy Me 55. Joanne is asking me what flavor? What flavor? There's some yogurt ice cream that they add some pineapple, strawberries, and watermelon. It's delicious, really fresh. And you know, the publicity says like low calories. Yeah? It's just like you got the feeling that you're not guilty of eating ice cream. But my best ice cream, you know, is the one I used to make. I put banana, frozen banana, and uh, Greek yogurt and coffee. I blended everything and just I got the most amazing, you know, ice cream coffee. Mm. Yeah. The mouth. I want to see how much I should add to the mouth. Maybe this is too reddish. If I add a bit more here, what I don't want is to kill the softness here. But adding this sharp edge on the side makes me fear that I need to add more, you know, because it looks that there's not balance there. Okay, more color. For example, this green here. I can use the same green. It's knocked down because I have just the same brush that the paint, you know. And you maybe you don't see it, but there's has a little bit of touch of this greenish color. Oh, sorry, on on the cheeks. Then I can use even blue with a lot of white, cool color, and put it just next to that one. Okay, even here. Okay, now what if I add a little bit of orange there? A little bit of green. You know, I'm trying to paint some colors that I don't see obviously on the photograph. But oh, this light here, I just saw it. It's just too much to the right. I gotta move it. But I think they're gonna be pretty nice. Okay, some orange here, a little white. Let me see the time. It's been like, I don't see the time. Oh, an hour and a half? An hour and a half? Oh, that's pretty good. Still have time. I was thinking to paint for 2 hours. Yeah. But I think I'm gonna stop before the 2 hours because if I continue, just I'm gonna add more. I'm gonna add details. I don't wanna kill the freshness here. I gotta control myself on that. I gotta just keep thinking about values and how values are gonna help me to create volume without thinking on details. Okay. I think, you know, for some reason, I'm pretty sure if I add details on this painting, I'm just gonna make it cartoonish. It's just like she needs the movement, you know, maybe it's this, the back, her back, her shoulders. It needs the softness. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of some light brush strokes. I wanna do this brush strokes kind of intentional, even if I tried this more than once. Okay, just like that, no more. Okay. Now here, I see this light here. I wanna knock down this light a bit. One brush stroke. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I think it does. I'm gonna make it blurry here. Okay. So that I can even add a little bit of this bluish color there, just a touch. Okay. With a little bit of red, which is gonna make it kind of violet. Just there. Subtle touch, okay? If it's too much, I could paint it over again and then add again a loose stroke, a loose brush stroke. Okay, now let's see. Dark, dark, sharp, sharp. Okay, is that good? It's working. Now, it's not a copy about the photograph. It's about your painting. Look at your painting by itself. Is that working? The balance? Is that working? The volume? Like here, for example, there's always a mid-tone, okay? Remember that. Okay. I got a feeling that I need something more. That could be a problem, you know, because you feel that you need more. No, I want to stay with bigger brushes. I think I'm gonna prevent myself to move to details and keep the softness on the face. I don't have the same contrast as the photograph. I see on the photograph that's darker here. Now the point is, should I make it darker? The same way that I'm thinking right now about the mouth. What do you think? Do you knock down the red? It looks good, the red. Hello, Arton. Hello, JD. Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. See it black and white. Oh, you know what? I think I can do that here on OBS. Let me see if I can do that here. That would be pretty nice to see the painting black and white. Okay, let me see. Can you see it? I don't know if you will see this or just me. Just me or you will see it? Because I'm doing this on OBS. And everything that I see on my screen is black and white. Now, when I see it like this, I like it. Okay, I just noticed that the light on the nose is not good. It's too big. If this was a drawing, the highlighter would be too big. Now, if this was a drawing, I would love it. You know, it looks like a really soft drawing. Not too many details. It keeps an atmosphere. Okay. The sharp edge, sharp edge. The mouth looks good. Now the problem is when I see color now in a minute. Dark eye, dark eye. You see the darker values are the eyes. You know, hair here, sharp edge, dark here. Yeah? The only darker values I see are the eyes and then black here. Yeah? Which is good. Sharper edges, sharp, sharp. Everything here is soft. Looks like there's no work done on the mouth. Even when I see black and white, look at the mouth. But now you can see the mouth there, maybe. Oh, that's too much, I think. No. This doesn't look clear. Okay. I think that's good. One thing that I noticed that's a bit different, the eyebrow. You see the eyebrow is darker next to the eye here? There. Yeah? Need to make it darker. The shadow here is darker. And I just put this darker brush stroke here just to mark what I need to do. Okay. Now I gotta go back to color. Do you see color now? Oh yeah, I see color now. Okay, the thing that I noticed that when I saw it in black and white is that I don't have that much contrast as the photograph. Okay, that got me thinking that should I push the values a bit more? That's gonna be better for my painting, or should I keep just what I think is a good freshness for my painting? We're gonna always have those questions. Yeah? I think I'm good on edges. Remember that when you paint with edges, think that you need softer edges more than anything. Okay? More than sharper edges, softer edges. Okay. I still have time. I could push the values. But do I need that to do that? Eh? Oh, you can see black and white. That's good. Knock down the red, this is Deborah. Oh, now that I see now I see the mouth again. I didn't notice. I know what happened. Push the value, saying let Saint Lucifer. Okay. I'm not gonna hear you, Lucifer. You don't look like you're not your Lucifer. I'm gonna just light up here. Now here's the thing is between what we have and what we see. Now that what I said before, trying to say that on a La Prima session you're gonna get really close to a photograph. Well, that's so difficult. Okay, now the thing is that you're gonna have your own version. Okay, now my own version here is telling me I like the way it is. Don't do anything more. My need of copying things is telling me push the shadows a bit more. Values, values. You know, I always repeat. Values, darker values. Yeah, but I gotta just detach myself from the photograph and see my painting by itself. Okay, I'm gonna love my painting like the way it is, and interpretation, the style, the way it is. Or do I? Because what is gonna happen? It happens most of the time that I don't compare my painting with the photograph. I see my painting alone, and when it's alone, you know, I see like it looks cartoonish. Oh, it looks good in edges. Oh, it looks too yellowish, too reddish, or whatever. But maybe I should compare it with the photograph every time, but I don't do that. I see it alone, you know. And that's the case for today's. That's what I need. I need to know what to do. Just 1 second, please. I'm looking for. Oh, okay. You know, I had an accident. You know, I got the. I love this brush. Hey, look at that. I just was looking for another brush to do this. Okay. Yeah. Now, yeah. Now I forget why I was doing that. Oh my God. I was just looking for the. Oh, I think it was about blending the nose. Okay. Or blending the edge here. Okay. I don't like this brush. Prefer this one. I think it's softer. Yeah. Now remember, we try really hard to copy the photograph. At some point, you're gonna see your painting by itself and choose, you know, what to do. It's gonna be like that. Okay. One thing that I would love to do with my painting, just beyond being a copy, is just add more colors. Yeah, that's something that I would love to do. Just touches of yellow there. You know, touches of pink. I think that's gonna add more to my painting than trying to get details or trying to get closer on likeness. Yeah. Light blue. Maybe you don't see those colors on the camera, but the intention is just to have those colors. That's, you know, I don't want to show those colors just like bright colors, just subtle shifts between, you know, one here and there. Okay. Um, what else I need to do? Okay. No, edges. Not me. The nose, kind of difficult to make the nose pop. I'm gonna just maybe add a highlight on the edge. Yeah, let me add a highlight on the edge. Maybe that could help. White and yellow, just there. Okay, yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Okay. Uh, okay. What else? The shadow on. Just no. My efforts to get a sharper edge on the nose are represented here, trying to push the values to get a more contrast and a sharp edge. And maybe that's too much. Okay, now I see the nose, and I want to see the nose a bit closer than the eye here. Okay, is that what you see? Is that what I see? A little bit of a highlight here. Okay. Now, the light is coming from the left. I can add a little bit of light on the right side of the iris. There. And there, the same here. Okay, just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I think I should stop. I think I should just not push it like that much. Okay. Okay. Oh, for the ones that love to paint landscapes but speak English and Spanish, you know, my wife, she paints landscapes, and I'm saying that because she's just left a comment on the chat box. That's the last comment on the chat box. If you click there, maybe pretty sure you're gonna get to her channel. Her computer is broken nowadays. These few days, she's not doing any live stream now, but she will be back. She'll be back to do it. Okay. Uh, hmm. No. The one little thing here that I need to do. This here, it looks like I'm seeing the nostril on the nose here, and it's not a nostril. It's just too dark. Okay, a little bit of light here because that area is rounded. The problem is the space is too small there. But even that being that small, we need to try to add some subtle variation on the values to try to create the form. Okay, here for example, there's a bump. Okay, that's the muscle there. There's a muscle here that goes like this in the diagonal. And on top of that muscle, that's the orbicularis oris. Okay. Hey, Nolan. Here, the same way that here there is a midtone, here is the same. Gotta try. Even when it's subtle, we need to paint that, okay? The same way that I painted here. Now, soften the corner of the mouth. There a bit. Just pretty soft. The muscles on that area. Okay, again here, the muscles there. Transition. Okay, I need to soften here. I think she has a little bit of a smile that I didn't get. Okay, oops, the eyebrow here. Okay, I think that's it for today. Oh, thank you, Jose Perez. Gracias. I loved looking at black and white, the softening edges. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah, I want to do that every time, I think. You want to see it again? You want to see it again? Let's do it again. Especially that I think I added some things that I need to soften. Do this here a little bit there. Okay, let's see it black and white. Look at that. Hey, that smile, yeah? Oh, yeah, Maria. I was thinking the same, a little bit of that smile. Even that just a little bit up. The likeness, yeah? We always want to get the likeness. No matter what we say, we always going to get the likeness. Sometimes it's just difficult to get it. Oh, the earring. I don't want, okay, the earring. Okay, that's why, yeah. Okay. Something is not okay on the nose. I just see it there. Maybe I should soften this edge a bit. There. There. You know, it looks like a continuous line. A continuous line is it's not good. Now, soft, sharp, soft, a little bit sharp. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to color. Oops. Okay, now it's back to color. Okay. Thank you, Manuel. Okay, take care, everybody. That was for today. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, Marianne saying that's the first time watching my channel. Oh, welcome to my channel. Yeah. And please, for everybody here, subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment. Okay. Yeah, Deborah saying that she loves how the black and white shows the values. Oh, what the black and white shows. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay. Think I'm good. I didn't work that much on the neck, but I think that's good enough. I didn't want to show that much there. Now I'm gonna get my ice cream. Take care, everybody. Bye.